Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to do an introduction to WordPress. In future videos, I'm going to do various tutorials on WordPress, but in this video, I'm just going to do an introduction of WordPress. What is it? And give some examples of WordPress and just kind of give an overview of what it is. I'm not actually going to show you making a WordPress site or doing anything on a WordPress site other than just showing you what it is, describing what the tech is, and show you some of the best sites that use WordPress. Okay, so first, there's a good Wikipedia article on this. I'll just read maybe the first section here. It says WordPress, WP or WordPress.org, is a web content management system. It was originally created as a tool to publish blogs, but has evolved to support publishing other web content, including more traditional websites, mailing lists, internet forums, media galleries, membership sites, learning management systems, and online stores. Available as free and open source software, WordPress is among the most popular content management systems. It was used by 22.52% of the top 1 million websites as of December 2024. Okay, it's written in the PHP programming language paired with a MySQL or MariaDB database. Okay, so I'll link to this article. It's good. So I'm going to discuss more here. So again, what are the base technologies? So what we call front end, or what people actually see as a user when they go to a website. So basically, WordPress has these three main technologies that almost every major site uses: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And the back end, it uses a database software, usually MySQL, although technically you could use a different one, but usually it's MySQL or MariaDB, which is kind of like a derivative of MySQL, and then PHP programming language. So what are some example websites that use WordPress? So for example, one of my favorite bloggers and one of my favorite writers is Tim Ferriss, and he uses WordPress. So his website is this. And one way you can tell about if a website uses WordPress is you can actually do the view page source, or you can type Control U like that. And oftentimes if you search for WP dash something like that, that's often a good indication a site uses it, and also so it might also say WordPress on the site itself. Okay, so his site uses WordPress, and again, he's a good blogger. He's got a popular podcast, but I also think that he's got great books and he writes good articles on his site. Also, NASA. NASA is the one of the main space agencies in the U.S. They do all things related to space and things like rockets and going to Mars and the moon and stuff like that. So their website uses WordPress, at least their main one, nasa.gov, and you can confirm this again by looking at the source code. Look for WP dash or just search for WordPress, and uses WordPress. And I'll give you an example too of a lot of my sites use WordPress. It's one of my favorite things to use. So this was an article. Let me show you maybe a better one here. So this was one of my more popular articles. This is how to talk about meat in Chinese. And this is using WordPress. I can guarantee you it is using WordPress. And you can search the source code for that. And this is about me, okay? That's me there. This site uses WordPress, and another one of my sites uses WordPress. This is Watson Doug Products. It's one of my sites. I sell Doug products, and I've got a store here. and I've got a blog. Okay, I've written several articles, and I also have had a freelancer and others write articles. So there's several articles here. For example, how do you stop your dog from biting people? And this uses WordPress. Okay, so WordPress is really very amazing. And then there's another example I wanted to give you here, which is this is just a I just put this site up today. This is just a very bare bones, but this is using a free web host, and this is also using WordPress. And notice there's no HTTPS. It says not secure. Like this site is secure, but this one isn't because it doesn't have the HTTPS. I made this site just to demonstrate a very basic WordPress install, which I'll talk about in another video. And very interestingly, you can also host WordPress on your own computer. So I'm using a Linux computer, but you should be also able to do this in Windows and Mac and BSD if you use. So this is actually a WordPress install on my own computer here. So this is not on the internet. It's just on this computer. And I installed it just as a way to test WordPress. But so you can install WordPress on your own computer or on a website. So like I said, this is just an example. Okay, probably it's not going to work for you unless you specifically set it up exactly like that. And then I gave you the example of Tim Ferriss. And there's also, I forgot to mention about TechCrunch. TechCrunch is a tech website. And they also use WordPress, and you can confirm that by looking at the source code. Again, there's WP- and also if you search for WordPress, it says WordPress 6.7.2. And yeah, so those are just a very few basic. There are literally probably hundreds of millions of websites that use WordPress. It's by far the most popular content management system. And yeah, maybe I can mention it here. I'll discuss this here first. So yeah, probably it's very hard to estimate this, but different sites have estimated that over 40% of the world's public websites use WordPress. So that's absolutely incredible. I mean, considering there's probably billions of websites, billions of domains, WordPress is hosted on 40% at least. Okay, so this site estimates at least 43%. It says 43.6. I don't know exactly how they calculate this. Also, there's a lot. Okay, so this estimates over 500 million websites are built on WordPress. And yeah, there's over 30,000 themes available, over 70,000 plugins. Okay, this on Reddit suggests that there's over 43%. This says 43.3%. And that was as of 2024. And this says as of February 2025. So again, some of these might be wrong or at least not. Again, it's very hard to estimate this because some people might try to hide that their website uses WordPress, but somehow they're able to estimate it. Okay, and it says WordPress dominates the CMS market with over 61.8% share. So, and then a lot of sites use WooCommerce as the WooCommerce is the plugin, one of the main plugins for an e-commerce site. So a lot of you might be familiar with a company called Shopify, but WooCommerce is a plugin. You can basically make your own e-commerce site for free, and it's a good plugin in my opinion. Okay, let's go back here. And again, why is it so popular? Okay, so it's open source, and open source means it's software that anyone can basically read the code, and it's free as in money and free as in freedom. So freedom as in like you can You can tinker around with it. You can try to learn how the code works if you want, but you don't actually need to know how to code at all. You're free to customize it however you want. Again, it's open source. If you know how to code, yeah, you can do that. If you don't know how to code, it's going to be hard, but maybe eventually you can learn. And one of the biggest sellers is that you can use it and not know how to code. A lot of people use it and have no real idea how to code at all. I think probably the vast majority of people who use it at least don't customize their WordPress site by coding it themselves. They might use plugins, of course. So it's very user-friendly. It allows you to make beautiful sites. It's mobile-friendly. Okay, if you've ever done web development, making a site mobile-friendly can be rather complicated. I won't go into the details of the tech, but it can be very difficult. But WordPress has made it so that they abstract that, and so they've got and because it's open source, they have designers can contribute to it. You've got programmers that can contribute to it, and you've got lots of free plugins. I'll show you these. Got tons of free plugins, tons of free themes. So a theme is like how you make the site look, like the appearance of the site, and plugins allow you to do very specific things. Yeah, so for example, a classic editor, I definitely use that. This one is a one I often use to get rid of spam in the comments. And this is a common one, Jetpack. So yeah, there's quite a lot of, there's literally thousands of plugins. And again, because it's open source, if you really wanted to, you could make your own plugin. And that's something that's very beautiful in my opinion. Okay, and I guess these are themes. So themes are how you can make the appearance of a site. And let's see here. So this is a very common theme, Elementor. I won't go into the details of that. Ocean WP, I've used that before. And I've used a lot of these themes before. And for example, if you have a WooCommerce site, you could have a, let's say e-commerce. You could have an e-commerce theme. So for example, somebody selling clothing. For example, if you want to sell clothing on your site, you could have a theme that's for basically for fashion, and that's very cool and it's free. Okay, and let's go here. Okay, so there's a small difference. Okay, so what's WordPress.com versus WordPress.org? WordPress.com is basically a company, and WordPress.org is more of an organization. They're both founded by the same group, but they're kind of treated differently. So WordPress.org is where you actually get the software if you want to host it on your own website. And WordPress.com is basically a hosted service company. So the vast majority of the time, at least I will be using WordPress.org, but you can use WordPress.com if you want to host it with them. And then how do you actually download it? Okay, so if you want to download it and put it on your own server by yourself or have someone else do it, you would go to wordpress.org/download. And that's where the most recent is going to be. I think they might also have a GitHub page, but I would always recommend going to wordpress.org/download. Okay, so as I mentioned, in future videos, I'm going to do tutorials on WordPress, teach you how to set up a WordPress site, and a whole lot more. I'll show you already ideas I have are how to put WordPress on a free web host, how to put WordPress on a VPS, and more. And so anyway, so WordPress is really an amazing software. It's a content management, yeah, I highly recommend you check it out. And yeah, this was just an intro of WordPress. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you in the next one.